Would you believe that these beautiful beads were once just a broken glass? In a small town in Ghana, one man has turned this simple process into a global movement. He has traveled all over the world teaching this ancient craft and building one of the biggest bead brands in Ghana. This is the story of Cedi Beads. In the eastern region of Ghana, where tradition breathes through every village and history lives in the hands of its people, lies a story shaped by fire, glass, and passion. This is not just a story of bees, but the journey of a man who turned culture into a global legacy. In Odumasi Krobo, a town known for its rich bead-making heritage, one name stands tall: Cedi, a craftsman, a teacher, and a cultural ambassador.
My real name is Nomuda Yi Jaba, known as Cedi. Cedi is my popular name. And I'm the CEO of Cedi Beads industry at Odumasi Krobo. You see, I was born not quite long that they have changed our money from point to Cedi. Then my grandmother was saying that before you carry my first grandchild, you have to bring a new Cedi. And everybody calls me Cedi up to date.
From humble beginnings, Cedi built one of the most recognized bead-making enterprises in Ghana, known as Cedi Beads. Every great story begins somewhere. For Cedi, the journey into bead making was not just a career choice, it was a calling.
And I started bead making when I was 7, and that time I was in class 2. We have 2 sessions, go to school morning and back in the afternoon. In the afternoon, my grandmother sent me to go and call my parents to come and have their lunch. When they left there, I picked up one of the empty mold, designed something very quickly, and put it on top of theirs. When they came back, they were very annoyed because they don't want the children to go close to the firing side. But when the bead came out, it looks nice. And they asked me, can you repeat the same thing? And I said, I don't know. Then they gave me other modes to try my hands on it. I did the second one. It looks close to the first one. When they send it to the market, all the customers want to buy that particular bead. Then I have to teach my brothers and sisters, those who were already in it, and I'm it up to date.
What started as curiosity soon became passion, and that passion turned into mastery.
In my family, before you grow up, then you know how to make beads. So I was born into bead making family. Yeah. And when I was a student, I was thinking that after schooling, I'll be a medical doctor or an accountant, work in the bank, or to be a bank manager. So I was doing both business subject and science subject. And that one also helped me in bead making because bead making is a purely science subject. You see, the glass, the melting point, then the colors and the compatibility of each glass, all those things also help me a lot in bead making. So after schooling, then I realized that there's no job in Ghana. So what I already have in hand, then I have to think about it twice and make it a point that it can generate something for me, my family, Ghana, and world as a whole.
In a community where beads symbolize identity, status, and tradition, Cedi found purpose in preserving and evolving the craft.
In bead making, I can say I'm a bead lecturer. I give talks on beads. I teach people. I train people. I'm a presenter also on bead making, and I'm a member of the International Society of Glass Bead Makers based in US. So anytime that they have a conference or bazaar or trade shows around the world, they quickly inform me and they say, "Oh, Cedi, can you come and do presentation, or can you come and give us lectures on African bead and the uses of bead in our culture, or the history in bead making?"
Bead making is not just art, it is science, patience, and tradition combined.
As at now, I work with 24 people, and our work, what we do is that we don't specialize one person on or specialize on one particular subject or particular thing. What we do is that we train them through everything. So if one person is absent today, still the work will go on. And the moment that you mention Cedi Beads, people, they know that through because of our quality or through the quality of the bead that we produce here.
The process begins with recycled glass, bottles, broken glass, materials once discarded, now given a new life.
For traditional beads, we get all our raw materials locally, but we are into international beads making or international bead, let's say, folklore art. So what we do is that we do all kinds of things, including the European and American techniques. And those things, you need equipment like blowtorch, you need a mandrel, you need an airy kiln, you need tumbler, you need crusher, you need petty tools that which will enable you to to create wonderful beads.
Each bead tells a story through color, shape, and design. In Krobo's culture, beads are more than decoration. They are identity. They represent beauty, maturity, status, and heritage passed down from generation to generations. And Brighter, they are also here to join us celebrate the 131st Mayo Festival. You are welcome. From Odumasi Krobo to the world, Cedi's craft has crossed borders. He has traveled across continents, teaching, lecturing, and sharing the African story through beads.
So through bead making, I was able to travel almost all over the world. Through bead making, I could see that I had a lot of invitations outside Ghana, within Ghana, even Africa, and almost everywhere.
In every country he visits, he carries Ghana with him, one bead at a time.
from Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States, of course. First time in Africa, obviously first time in Ghana. And we were on a tour with a group. And one of the locations on this tour was the Cedi Beads. And we were trying to learn more about the Ghanaian culture. And we were told to make sure we come by this location because of what they do here. So we had an opportunity today to see how glass beads are made to make bracelets and necklaces. So we've been enjoying it. Actually bought some so we can take home, and we're going to enjoy that a lot. Got one gift for each family member back at home because they all want to remember something from our trip, and then we want to give them something from the home, from the motherland. So that's what we're doing.
My name is Deb Harvin, and I'm with Ray Harvin. We're both from Atlanta, Georgia on a tour. The only thing I can say is that the workmanship that goes into making these beads are impeccable. It is wonderful to see the process, the expertise, and the precision that goes into making each product. And yes, we're taking these home with us as gifts. Thank you.
What began as a skill has grown into a thriving business. Cedi Beads is not just a company. It is a source of livelihood, a training ground, and a symbol of cultural pride.
When I was in class 2, I've been telling my parents that by all means I'll go to abroad. I'll travel outside and come back to Ghana. But I realized that even the beads trade that I take it as a business, that one rather makes things for me faster than if I wanted to, be a doctor or an accountant. So I realized that I gain more things, and I meet a lot of people outside, big men, and even there was a time that the Queen of Denmark came to Ghana here and visited my place. And I was so proud about that, because if I don't take bead as my main business, all the big people that I've been meeting with, chatting with, I don't think I can get an access to them.
But the journey has not been without challenges. Through perseverance and dedication, Cedi continues to push boundaries, preserving tradition while embracing innovation.
First of all, before you do something, or even to start bead making, you may need capital. That one is one thing. Then after that, you need a site also to set up your shed, your tools, and kiln, everything. Then you need the raw materials also as well. And there are some of the things that you can get it locally, but if you want to do more, then you need to, travel outside, and the cost of ticket, accommodation, per diem, and everything. All these things also is one of the challenges that we are facing here. Because if you go out and sell your product, you can earn more money than if you are selling it everything locally. Next 5 to 10 years, we will establish a very serious bead museum in Ghana here, attached with the bead school, that people can come all over the world to attend our schools here in Ghana, or even in Africa. And we will try to set up branches in other African countries also as well.
In a world constantly changing, some traditions fade, but others evolve.
So what I would like to tell the youth is that, whatever your parents are doing, try as much as possible to help them. Maybe you rather will take it up to a certain level, and that one will make the whole Krobo land or the whole Ghana or world to grow. Because if you are doing something, you have to do it well. If you do it well, you can get all kinds of things that you are looking for in this world. So I want the youth, those who want to make beads, they should come here. I will train them, and they also, even they can move very far, or even they can move faster than what I'm doing today. Because through bead making, you know, there's no place in this world that I cannot go. Any embassy that I'll, you know, take my passport to get there, and there's a way for me. So they can do even more. So I always tell my people that, look, what a man do, another man too can do, or even do better.
Through fire and glass, through passion and purpose, Cedi has ensured that the story of Krobo Beads will never be forgotten. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more cultural documentaries from Ghana and beyond.
EBY TV, simply unique.